And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. It's how to get an absolutely amazing rockstar testimonial that will do all the heavy lifting for you. So who is the best person to sell your product or service? Now, you might think it's you, and the thing is, it might be depending on the situation, but a lot of times when you're trying to sell something to somebody, you're pushing onto them, right? You're trying to tell them why something is great. So who's really the best person to sell your product or service? Is it a raving fan? Think about that for a second. If it's somebody's friend, husband, wife, son, daughter, somebody that they know, a coworker, and they're talking about how awesome you are and how your product changed somebody's life, their life, do you think that the person listening to that story might lean in a little bit and might ask some questions and want to know more? Think about this in your own life. We can use diet and exercise as the really easy example here. Think about one of your friends who says they went on this diet and it was super easy to follow and they lost a lot of weight and it's been easy to maintain. Right away, you're going to start to say, well, if it worked for them, I want to know more about it, right? No walls go up. But if you were to meet somebody that you didn't know and they said, I have this awesome diet and you should try it, it does XYZ, immediately your mind says, I don't know if that's for me. And you start to have a negative reaction. You start to ask questions about it. You don't really want to know more. You don't trust it. So if raving fans are the best person to sell your product or service, how can you have them do it for you? And when you finally have that conversation with a new client or new customer, they're pre-framed and ready to buy from you. Now, you might have heard of testimonials before, and you're probably thinking of really bad testimonials. There's a lot of things that people do wrong when they get a testimonial. It doesn't solve your ideal client's pain point. It doesn't resonate with your ideal client. So first off, I'll tell you some of the things that are completely wrong when it comes to testimonials. The first one is the person giving the testimonial has to be somebody that is similar to your ideal client. Your ideal client or customer has to resonate with the person that's giving the testimonial. They have to see something that is similar to themselves in that person. The second thing is a testimonial has to overcome a specific pain point. This is the number one thing that so many people get wrong. They might have the right person giving the testimonial, but the person just says, oh yeah, it made me feel great. Oh yeah, it made me think differently. Like that doesn't solve a pain point. What are the specific pain points that your service solves? The testimonial should talk about those. The third thing is that it has to get them a clear, concise outcome. Now we're going to go through how this happens. It actually follows the story arc. If you guys haven't watched my story training, you can click somewhere up here and it's a link that takes you to the story training. I'm going to give it to you briefly here though. So the first thing is you want to make sure that the person giving the testimonial relates. So number one is you want to make sure that the person giving the testimonial relates to your ideal client or customer. Number two are pain points. You want to have pain points, 1 to 3 specific pain points that your product or service solves. Number 3 is a clear outcome. What's the future like? What's the future like? What is the person's life like? And make sure that it's the outcome that your ideal customer wants. So the best way to do this is through story. When you're interviewing the past client or customer that is going to be your testimonial, you want to take them on a story. So you want to start down here with the pain. What pain were they in? And you just ask them. So when you shoot this is pro tip number 1. When you shoot the testimonial, you want to state the question to them and then you want to tell them to repeat the question back to you. That way you can edit yourself out and you'll be left with a story. But you want to start with the pain. What pain points were you in? How is this affecting your life? What and how? What were the pain points and how was it affecting their life? And if there's 3 pain points, you need to go down through each one of them. Then once you've gone through that, say, well, what happened next? And next, in the story arc, is the light bulb moment. That's my picture of a light bulb right there. So the light bulb moment is when they had the epiphany that changed and helped them get to the outcome. This should be whatever your product or service is. Now, this is another place that a lot of people go wrong. When they have somebody talk about the product or service, sometimes they take the people through the testimonial and they have the person giving the testimonial actually try to do the selling. That comes across as really inauthentic and it doesn't connect well. Again, people will put up walls because they'll feel like they're being pushed on. What you actually want to do is this should only be about 10% of the story. The pain should be about 60%. And the product or service, which is your product or service, should only be about 10%, just a little bit. Then the remaining 30% is what is their life like now? What is their life like now? And whatever they're saying their life is like should be the opposite of whatever their pain points are here. So when you do this correctly, it's going to be something like this. Let's go through a weight loss one. So we'll do a male weight loss routine. So my name's Phillip Werner, and 6 months ago, I was struggling really hard. Like, I didn't have any energy. I couldn't really get out of bed. I didn't have any time to go to the grocery store. I didn't know what to eat. I didn't know what to cook. I couldn't lose weight, and like with COVID going on, I was just stuck at home, and I just started putting on weight, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't make it. I couldn't go out to eat. I couldn't eat healthy. I was just sitting around on the couch and potato chips, ice cream, cheeseburgers, things like that. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to really fix my diet. Then I was searching on YouTube and I came across XYZ's easy diet program with food that I could get delivered from the grocery store, and I could make great tasting meals that actually had me at a caloric deficit and helped me lose weight. And it was amazing. I started this, and within a week, I had way more energy. I was getting out of bed in the morning. I wasn't eating a bunch of junk food because I just wasn't hungry for it anymore. See how that works? That's the story arc. Now, when you're actually interviewing the person for the testimonial, you want to ask the question and have them repeat it back to you. When you use testimonials like this, you can get different avatars that relates to specific segments of your audience that deal with different pain points, and you can then use these in marketing. If you're running Facebook ads, you can run them to certain segments of ads. If you're using them in front of YouTube videos, you can put them in front of the proper YouTube videos. Or one of my favorite things to do is if I have a small conversation with somebody, instead of offering to sell them something right then and there and putting a wall up, I'll just wait till I get home and I'll say, I was thinking about your situation driving home. And there was a past client that I worked with who had a very similar situation, and I wanted to send you their story. Here it is. And then you just send them a 3 to 5 minute video. It works so incredibly well. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to know more about how to use stories, this is my book, Stories That Scale. You can look in the description down below and you can get the digital version of this for free. If you have comments or questions on this video, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you, and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so that you never miss a video from me. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take action, change lives, and make money. We'll see you soon.